It took me a long time to realize that conditional formatting could be really fun. I thought it was just highlighting some cells. I'm going to show you each and every part of conditional formatting so you can actually become way better at it and use these tools whenever you want. I'm going to lay down a little knowledge, a little bit of information that you might want to know about how to combine them in cool ways. And I'm going to flip the script. I'm going to flip your mind. I'm going to change something in a belief of conditional formatting that you might have. This is everything you want to know about conditional formatting. Let's start with just selecting a range. We can select our B column here, and we're going to go up to Format, Conditional Formatting. You don't actually have to get it right. For example, if you wanted not to do B1 to B13, but actually B2 to B13, you can just edit that range here in Apply to Range. So I'm going to go back actually and delete this and show you if I'm accidentally don't even select the whole range. I'm like, oh, on B1, I want to conditionally format everything in the B column. And I do exactly the same thing. Format, conditional formatting. The apply to range over here on the right is going to be B1. But I can just change this to B2 colon B, and that will select the entire column, not including the header. Okay, so that's the first thing. Choose a range, select it, and then you can also edit that range. The next is we have some rules. Now, the rules is going to be the main brain of your conditional formatting. And you have a lot of options here. We have that text exists or doesn't exist, if the cell itself is empty or not empty, if it contains some kind of text. So like if you're looking for the word marathon inside of a cell, or complete, and sometimes people say completed. That's a better example than marathon, but also if the text doesn't contain something, if you are looking for, say, URLs and you want to see everything that it contains HTTP or it does not contain HTTP, you can select this text does not contain. Starts with, ends with, and text is exactly. So if you wanted it exactly a certain text, these are all sort of text-based and empty or not empty. Then we have dates. Is the date this? Is the date before or after? What's cool is you can select this date is, and now you have a few options. You can say today, tomorrow, yesterday, past week, past month, past year. You don't have to figure out a custom format or custom rule for like, is the date within the last week or in the past year? Date is before also gives you these options. Date after also gives you these options. Next is about numbers. Are these numbers greater than or equal to, or is it less than or equal to? Is it between two numbers? And when you get between, we're going to have 45 and let's say 100 here. And over here on the left, you can see that those are selected between 45 and 100. If we're doing greater than or equal than, or any of these where you have a formula, make sure you had a equal sign in front of it. You can do average, B to B. And there we have, it's greater than the average. If it's even between the average and 100, will be here. And the last option, which is actually the most infinite option, which is custom formula is. Now this is really cool because you can put any formulas in here and you can also put in any kind of formula combinations. The thing is, you should put in equal sign B1 equals, and now we can say something. So let's say like is actually greater than average B to B. So this is very similar to what we had before, but we didn't have to click average. We could just figure out this formula. The thing is, you have to add an equal sign in the beginning, then your cell, and then either an equal sign or something that resolves to true or false. And that's essentially what conditional formatting is doing, is saying, this rule, is it true? Is it false? If it's true, I'm going to apply these styles. Let me get to the styles next. Before I get to the styles, I just want to put in a number is between 10 and 40. Let's do that. Now, what we're doing is a single color formatting. There is color scale. I'll get to that in a second. But single color, you have some interesting formatting styles. You have some presets here. You can absolutely do a custom format as well. Can change it to bold or not bold, italic or not italic, underline or not underline. You can also strike through if you want, which I actually find fun to do with checklists. text color, you can change it to any of these preset colors, but you can also customize your color to anything within this range. Thing is, we have options for text color, but we also have options for the fill color or the background color. This is what you probably see the most of, is you're just highlighting it with some yellow or some clear color. I do want to recommend, just in case you haven't seen it, I have another video about low lighting. Instead of highlighting, sometimes we want to just decrease the highlight of the things we don't want to see. So that is something you can do. Your conditional formatting is definitely going to go apply to this range, these rules, this style, and you're most of the time going to think about highlighting the things you want to see. But check out that other video. I think it's called something around low lighting here on the channel, Better Sheets. Go check it out. If you haven't yet, subscribe now, and you'll get updates of all of these things. I go into way more details of interesting little use cases of these in other videos. But I want to show you now color scale. Color scale is really powerful to see a heat map of things. So in this case, we're looking at the sales amount, and we want to see, like, highlight the most and the least. And we have a default format rules, this preview here, and we can select other ones if we want yellow, red, if it's something bad. We can also go from red to green or green to red. A lot of cool options here, and I say you should try a lot of them. But also you can customize this. Maybe you want to put in more brand colors or have different kinds of pastels. So right now this format is from white to green, and we have a minimum value, a midpoint value, and a maximum. The only ones that are available with this preset is the minimum and the maximum. I'm going to change these colors. I'm going to change this minimum to purple. I'm going to change this maximum to dark blue. We see here on the left, it sort of combines into this fun color in between. We can also take it down a notch to blue. Depends on how clear and crisp you want it. I find that heat maps are not clear and crisp. I'm going to show you a little trick that I like to do, which is many times, let's put it back to this white to green. Many times, I don't actually want to look at the entire spectrum from white to green. I want this to start at some point. Maybe there's a minimum value. So I'm going to change this minimum value to number. And I'm going to say, actually, anybody who gets less than 30 sales, it's just white. I want to actually see the heat map of above 30. And so all I've done is change this minimum point to a number and put this number here. So now on my left side, I see that 10, 21, 11 are all white, plain white. And then anything above that is a shade of color. I like doing this. I think it really highlights how we can approach data visualization in a really fun and interesting way without having to just rely on those presets. We can also change this midpoint number to an actual number. I'm going to change it to 50. I'm going to change the color also to actually just, let's do a little bit of purple. Now we'll see that, yes, the highest number is dark green, but we have some other numbers here, 45, 55, 48, that have highlighted a little bit of color beyond that 30. So they're around 50. So what it's doing is it's doing a gradient from 30 to 50, particular gradient, and then from 50 to the maximum number, it's also doing a gradient. Again, I like to do these kinds of things very particularly so that I share the story of the data instead of just relying on these presets and having to figure it out. But some other options here is you can do percentage. So I'm going to change this midpoint to none and change this percent. We also have percentile. So we have some really cool options here. Minimum value, that it doesn't even need any setting here. Just minimum value is going to find that minimum value. And the maximum value is going to find that maximum value. And then maybe this midpoint is what we want to see. And you can also change these colors to the same color. So you get sort of a map from minimum to maximum, but that minimum and maximum are the same color. So you really see that highlighted, that middle percentile. That's also a fun thing to do. Now I want to go back to single color. So I want to show something else, which is ordering and stacking inside of conditional formatting. Many times we'll actually have more than one conditional formatting along a range. So this B range, I'm going to add a single color that's yellow that's between 10 and 50. And you see most of it is highlighted. Let's click done. I'm going to add another rule. Apply to B:B. And it's between 30 and 80. And I'm going to have it dark blue. So right now, only one of them is highlighted 55. But the reason is because in our conditional formatting rules on the right side, you'll see the yellow is at the top, and then it's this blue. But there's these 4 dots next to it. If we click and drag the blue up top, you can see 45, 55, and 48 are now blue because conditional formatting rules are in this order. We have stacked these from top to bottom. We can add more rules. You can say B:B is between 55 and 150. Stack it. Let's say green. And if I click and drag it to the top, you can see this 55 is highlighted now. Again, green, blue, then yellow, or I can click and drag that green all the way down and say, okay, at the end, if anything is between 55 and 150, mark it green, but we want this first. Now to delete them, our conditional formatting rules are over here on the right side. There is a trash can icon that shows up, and if we hover over it, it says remove rule. We can click that and remove that rule. We can hit Command Z and undo that quickly if we've accidentally deleted it. If we go into it, we cannot delete it from inside of the conditional format. We have to come out here and see it here, and we can click that trash can and delete them all. Now, one more thing that's super powerful that is actually probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen in Google Sheets is the difference between absolute and relative cells and this addressing of a cell. So this sales amount, say I have this 130 sales and I want to highlight it. So I'm going to go to this B column. I'm going to format conditional formatting. I'm going to change it B:B, and I'm going to say it's greater than 100. I'm going to hit that really hard with a nice yellow. That might not be enough. I want to highlight the entire row. So instead of a greater than format rule, I'm going to switch to custom formula is, and I'm going to say equals B1 equals 100 and, greater than 100. Now, again, only one is selected. You do see this header is selected, so I like to do this, B2:B. I do not like to put conditional formatting on the header. However, if I unclick this, you can see this 21 is highlighted. So what we can do is change this. What we need to do, now that our range is not B:B, but B2:B, we need to change our reference here to B2. This is because these are relative, not absolute. Relative means that B1 is the top one in this range that we have. If we want to highlight, let's say, the one below it, or rather the one above it, what this is doing is every single cell from B2 down through B2, B3, B4, it's going one down because it's B3. This is a range, and the cell reference here are not the same. We're looking at relative to that cell. So we need to change this to B2 to get the correct cell reference if our range is B2. Hope that comes across really well. Here's the next really cool thing that happens. We can actually change this application to A2:, and I'm going to do I. Whoa, that changed a lot. That's because every cell in A2 to I is looking at the one to the right of it, because these B2 is relative to A2, and so it sort of shifts along the way. But we don't want it to be relative. We want it to be absolute. We want A2 to look at A2. We want B2 to look at B2. So what we need to do is change B2 to a $B. That means this column B stays the same. It stays absolute. And now you see the highlight is across the entire row. And I think this is just really cool. So this $sign is sort of holding, just like I would hold a dollar in my hand. I'm going to hold that B column stable. Absolutely, I'm going to hold that B column, and every other number is going to change. Every other range is going to change. So I think that's really awesome to be able to change that absolute and relative with these $signs. Also, let's say I add a row above here, and I'm going to insert checkbox. And this checkbox in A1 is either true or false. If it's true, it's going to be true. If it's checked, it's going to be true. If it's unchecked, it's false. And now along all of this, actually I want to do, through everything. I'm going to add another rule. So it's applied to A1. I'm going to change this to A:(I). So that's every single cell in the entire thing. I'm going to change it to custom formula is, I'm going to say equals A1 equals true. I'm going to change the highlight to white, text to black, but we're still relative. This A:(I) and A1 are still relative. To be absolute, I'm going to put a $sign in front of the A, $sign in front of the 1. Nothing has changed yet because we're equals true. So when I click A1, do you see that everything became fill color white and text color black? Isn't that cool? So now we can control the whole thing. Let's do a little craziness. Just by this conditional formatting and absolute to A1, we can now control the entire sheet with just this checkbox. Isn't that cool? Obviously, these drop downs are going to be taking a different conditional formatting. We can sort of delete those if we want. We can say reset. We can lose that. But because that is a cell dependent formatting from this drop down, it takes precedence. So sort of like that ordering we did before. We can see even this yellow is highlighted, but if we click and drag this up, now the yellow is going to disappear as well. Pretty cool, right? Pretty fun, I think. And I think those cell references are one of the most advanced things. And if you really understand them and you really get them, you can do really cool stuff in your sheets. You're watching Better Sheets here on YouTube. You have two options here for your next video. Before you go, comment down below if you have any question whatsoever, and I'll make future videos from those questions. But for right here, right now, one of these videos could be your next Google Sheet.